Hey guys, I'm going to do the problem number 1 from the 2016 AP Computer Science. And I'm sure everybody had an opportunity to read it, so I'm just going to run right through this. It says a random string chooser object is constructed from an array of non-null string values. When the object is first constructed, all of the strings are considered available. The random string chooser class has a getNext method, which has the following behavior. A call to getNext returns a randomly chosen string. So I need a randomly chosen string. And I know anytime I need a randomly chosen string, I think of this method right here, math.random. And remember that it gives you a number between 0 and 1, but not including 1. So basically it rounds down for you. When you put an int in front of it, that is. So with that being said, let's continue. It says, once a particular string has been returned from a call to getNext, it is no longer available to be returned. So I know I need a remove button or method. So remove something, right? Remove dot whatever. So anytime I think of remove, I think of an array list. Here it says, if no strings are available to be returned, getNext returns the string none. Okay, so the getNext method is going to be is going to return a string. So that's important. The following code segment shows an example, and here's the behavior of it. You're going to have an array, not an array list. In other words, a finite number. Okay? And then we are going to, let's say, construct a for loop. And we are going to use the .getNext method. So right now, this array has wheels on the bus. It's going to give you back one possible output is shown. Bus the wheels on, none, none. The reason why is because it's starting at 0, less than 6, so that's 5 strings, and it only has 4 strings. I'm sorry, that's 6 strings. It only has 4 strings, and so it's returning none twice. Now, once it returns it, it deletes it or removes it, and therefore you don't see any of these repeating. So, one other thing that's really important is that word array is of type string, but it's an array which has a finite number. If you want to remove things or add things or whatever, you're going to need an array list. So you have to you're going to have to take this array and make it into an array list. So let's see how we can do that. Write the entire random string chooser class. So public class random chooser. Random string. So let's do that. Random string chooser. Okay. And once that happens, it's going to say your implementations must include an appropriate constructor. So we know a constructor has to have the same name as the class. So public random string chooser. Now, one other thing is, anytime we are trying to instantiate an array list, it looks something like this. It's going to look like list string in this case. I'll call it W because I don't want to keep writing. Equals new, and then it's going to be array list. And new array list, and the string as the type that goes in here. Parentheses, semicolon. So that's how we instantiate an array list. So here, I'm going to make a private variable. And the private variable is going to be list. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because I want to take all of my elements that are in an array and make it into an array list. That way it's easier for me to remove the strings. So public random string chooser is the name of the constructor. It's going to take the parameter, which is going to be the string bracket word array. And the reason why is because it says string word array, and it says here, I'm sure everybody read it, it says the code segment in the example above should have the indicated behavior. It must show a result like the previous. Okay, so neither the constructor or any of the methods should alter the parameter passed. So there's a parameter that's passed through the constructor. Okay, so these are the words. And now we still have to instantiate it. So this here is going to be words, new array list, bracket, string, bracket, semicolon. So that's great. Now, we have this here, and what we're going to do is we're going to say for int, let's say k, because that's what they use. K is less than the word array dot length. Okay. K plus plus. And then from there, we're going to take each one and add it to the array list, which we called words. Okay, so we're going to do words dot add. And then how do we get this? Well, words dot add would, where am I here? Word array. Okay. So that would go to the first string in word k, word array at k equals 0. Get that, add it to the array list, and now it's creating this new array list. So it looks like, all right, I have wheels on the bus, and now I'm just making it into an array list. So that's how we make it into an array list. So that's pretty much done there. So now I made all of the words in an array into an array list. So your constructor is pretty much done. I should probably put some brackets. Great. So we got to stay in the class. And so now I need a method called getNext. And the method getNext, let's do it on a different page. The method getNext, remember, it returns a string and then it removes it. Okay? So, first and foremost, the string, the array list has to have some sort of string in it. Because remember, it says that if it doesn't, then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to return the string none. Right? So what it's going to remember, it's going to return a random string, any of them. So, and then it removes it. So we're going to do return words dot remove int math dot random times words dot size. Because remember, let's say wheels on the bus. Okay, that's 0, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, right? So we have here, there's 4 words, right? And so for math.random gives you 0 to 1, hard bracket, soft bracket, like a parentheses, not including 1. If you times it by 4, it gives you to 3.99, right? And so if you put an int in front of it, it makes it 0 to 3, and that's these guys here. So remember, it'll return the word and then it'll remove it, okay? I also attached the answer key, so you could take a look at the answer key, but I hope this explains the getNext method and why we did the constructor the way that we did it. We made the constructor the way that we made it because I need to remove words. And because this is an array, let me erase this. Because this is an array here, I need to, the only way I can remove it if I put each one of these elements into an array list. And the way that we do that is by doing this, guys. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please email me, leave a comment, and I'll try to better explain it. So I took, once again, an array, I turned it into an array list. The way I did that is by doing this right here. Okay? And words is the array list. And then this is how I'm adding it. So I hope that was helpful.